Hello viewers, this is Ben C, and today I am going to be showing you how to correctly oil, or in this case grease, a Kirby transmission, a Kirby tech drive transmission. So I have my Kirby Generation 3 transmission, which I'm probably going to need to get a new belt, but I use what I got for now, so so let's see. Obviously, you need some kind of some grease or oil, whatever. I have out my grease. Come on. But you know, yeah, I don't recommend WD-40 at all. Don't ever use it in these. But this is supposed to be safe on plastic. I haven't had any problems yet, so now as someone might have a fear of having it or having the transmission or whatnot, something happening, that's all understandable if you're taking it apart for the first time or whatever. Well, you want to make sure you know which side went on which, and make sure that you keep track of all of the little spring doodads and springs and washers, and where they went and where they go. Because this is something that can obliterate your Kirby. This can ruin it if you don't do this correctly. Or let me rephrase that, not correctly, if you don't do it properly. If you don't, basically you don't want to take this either $10 vacuum you got at Savers, which is supposed to last a lifetime, which usually it does if you properly take care of it, or the $3,000 you spent on a vacuum cleaner, if you're one of those people who was willing to do it if it meant keeping your house clean, which I wish I could, but I can't afford it. So this is the spring. There's a little black washer on top, then a brass looking washer underneath, and then finally there's another black colored washer underneath that, and then the spring, and then line this up, make sure you properly get the pin set in there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on ahead and oil this. So, seeing as how I have it out, I'm just gonna oil it. And, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how the heck to pause for YouTube's videos, so you're gonna have to bear with me for a minute or two. Don't use too much of the grease or whatever you're using. Don't use liquid oils. I don't think that's very good for it. It needs something thick, sort of like a paste. You shouldn't overdo it because, it needs to get everywhere, and you don't want to have it everywhere and coming out the unit and all that really good stuff, which isn't really that great, but So now I'm putting this back in only so I can get the darn thing. Where's my wipe rag? Now I cleaned out the box, the housing already, because last night I think it was, I did it because I didn't have the lithium in my grease, and I was not going to use WD-40 because you don't ever want to do that. But set that there. Now I'm sure there's somebody who watches my videos just for twits and giggles, but and they're gonna know what the heck they're gonna probably be the Kirby or whatever, you know, the vacuum shop technician, and they're gonna say, oh, you shouldn't do that. Well, as soon as you guys start lowering your prices for repairs and all that, is the day that I won't do my own work on them, because I don't care if this is going to supposedly ruin it, or no, let me rephrase that. You only say that, most people only say that because it can cost them their business. If someone's teaching, you know, and they say, oh, it's not good for the unit, well, most of the time people say that only because it's going to ruin them, because they won't get as much business. Now, obviously, not everybody and most people who watch videos like this don't want to take their $3,000 vacuum apart, their $3K vacuum apart, their $3,000 vacuum, and of course this stupid thing, this darned thing, apart just to oil something that you never oil unless you get it refurbished, which it's already oiled by the time they give it back to you. And no, they don't do. Unfortunately, I would love to send this in and have it refurbished completely with all, you know. Unfortunately, they don't do it unless you're the original owner. Sadly. It's the cold, hard truth of it. We don't always want to hear the truth, but the truth is sometimes needs to be heard. Anyway, after doing such, and apparently having lose the bearing, or the smallest washer, start searching frantically for it, juggles. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay, that was my fault. I knocked over, my, upper housing piece for the unit. Come on, where's the stupid... Darn it. Come on. No. Whatever. For now. Please, no. Not now. One moment. And this is why you always want to have a clean space when working with your unit or whatever vacuum you're working on, whatever, if you're working on a vacuum. You know. Or you probably don't, but laziness got the best of me, and now I'm paying. Oh, yay. Well, I might move on only because I can't find it in time, and so if I can't find it in time, I'm gonna move on. And I have a scrap I have a scrap transmission, or not scrap, but it's not in use any longer, and so I'll probably have to take one from that. And I know there's gonna be some who knows what they're talking about in the comments, saying, "Oh, don't do that. Da, 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 da. They're designed differently each time." Well, that's, I think, a little false, and they only say that so it's kind of like a marketing thing. Oh, it's even better than the previous one. Now, I'm not... Oh, there it is. Woo! I found it. Woohoo! I found it, so never mind, actually. Now, I actually have had to do that from time to time. And if anybody says anything in the comments, if I decide to leave the comment section open, which I always do, I always like the feedback. If it's negative feedback, just to be negative, then keep it to yourself. But if it's something that will be... just if it's negative or anything like that, just keep it to yourself. Not that anybody comments. It would be nice. Oh, and before I forget and end the video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and please spread the word about me. So I have it all the way over here. Yeah. As I said, please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Click that like button and such. I probably should, but I'm just at this point a little lazy and annoyed that I just kind of made a fool out of myself. But hey, yeah, you can't always be good at it. You can't always have it done right. You can't always do it right. Alright, on to this. Oh, whoa, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. We don't want that now, do we? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's on the spring. Alright, so I'm going to, as I said, oil this up. Now, if any of you who are wondering what's so unique about these, like how does it work exactly, because it is an interesting thing. I mean, to some people it's like one of those things that's like, no, we just want to see what the heck's going on. But I usually blabber in my videos a bit, and so that's what I'm doing. Sorry if you're someone who doesn't like talking, but doesn't like talkative people and such, but you're gonna have to deal with it if you like my videos, except for the noise. Please endure it just for a little bit, you know. This, then the smallest washer, and then after that is the brass colored one. I don't actually know if it is brass or not, but it's colored in that sort of shade. And then finally this one. And the only reason I'm doing it like this is because it's just a pain to have to try and flip it over onto the, you know, trying to have all this hold on and line it up and then stick it back on. Oh, shoot. I just unhinged it. Alright, well, you also want to make sure you get this gear a little bit you get it. You don't want to get it on this plastic gear, not because it'll damage it, but it's because it's not directly in here where it really requires lubrication. So that's that. And then let me wipe off my hands so I can finish what I was doing, which is kind of a pointless idea, but oh, it's not undone. Okay, well, that was stupid, but oh well. Oops. And I will also showing it being put back together as much as I can, as I screwed up and bent the snap ring, so I need to get my needle nose and straighten that back out. But for now, I'm just gonna actually no, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at this. So, alright, bye.